Okay, so this clip came up with cyclist versus motorist. This cyclist going along the bike lane is encountering all these obstacles. So this came up on on the Sunrise show just the other day. So let's have a look at it, and I'll comment what my opinion is on who was in the wrong, and I'll back it up with some road laws as well. So let's have a look.
A Melbourne cyclist has divided opinion after sharing what he describes as a horror ride to work.
See, you shouldn't divide opinion. There's a law, and that's it. There shouldn't be an opinion. It's a law. So let's have a look what went on, and I'll run through it. We'll let it run for a little bit, and then I'll make some comments here.
During a 20-second period, the man is faced with a series of near misses, a reversing cement truck, a car swerving in front of him with little notice. Critics argue he is riding erratically in the blind spot of vehicles.
How can he be riding erratically in the blind spot of vehicles? You're either riding, I mean, you're either riding or you're not riding. Hey, you're riding erratically. He's trying to remain in the actual bike lane. How can that be erratic? I just don't. It's just inflammatory, the language they use, eh?
While others came to his defence.
Well, there you can sort of see the cars moving across. Right there, I'd be putting on the brakes.
Anything on social media, always got to doubt a bit, Rizzo. Whose side are you on?
But look, just from what we're seeing there, I mean, I'm an old cyclist. I hung up my bike about 3 years ago. I just got hit too many times by cars, and I usually go the cyclist. I think cyclists have a right to be on the road. This cyclist is in the wrong. Give way.
What do you mean give way? He's in the bike lane. It's like if trucks are moving across, they're going to give way to you. You don't give way to trucks if they're trying to get across the road. They're going to wait for a gap.
Cars are obviously struggling to get across that bike lane to get into those park spots and those positions to come out of that driveway. At the end of the day, you've got to be sensible. Don't tailgate like that. Don't go so close. Come back. Let it happen.
Yeah, and Felicity, we all learn defensive driving because you don't know who you're driving on the road with. You've sort of got to do it with cycling.
Yeah, but I mean, I looked at this and I thought, how terrifying it would be to be a cyclist on the road.
You got that right. It is terrifying to be a cyclist on the road.
Never ridden on the road, and this just shows why I never will be. But in defence, I just think the car actually is just coming over. I mean, obviously you're right, he's in his blind spot. But can you imagine, that could have been horrendous if it was he was a couple of seconds, a couple of metres forward, and then it's all over.
Yep. Samantha?
I think there's faults on both parts, actually. Like the cyclist, he needs to be able to get out of the way and do his thing. But
I mean, get out of the way and do his thing? What sort of statement's that? Get out of the way and do his thing? He's doing his thing. He's riding in a friggin' bike lane that people are saying, let's spend some money on infrastructure for bike lanes. And then the cyclists are using the bike lane and everyone's complaining. So frustrating.
Car, he did come over. So, the outrage brigade will be outraged about both sides anyway, I think. But both of them need to learn a little more respect.
That is social media. It's all outrage, isn't it? All right.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, let's go back. I'll run through what I think is going on here. So let's look at the first situation. Actually, you don't see it in that one. There's actually a spot I saw. So basically, this black car. See the black car there? He spotted somebody about to leave a car spot there, right? He's seen that this silver car's got his indicators on, moving out, and he's going, a car park. I'll grab that. But the thing is, you can't do that. You cannot straddle the bike lane like that, and this is part of the road rule. So I'll show you the road rule. This is in Melbourne. It's the same in South Australia. It says here, rules for motorists in regards to bike lanes: it's illegal to park or stop your vehicle in a bicycle lane. So this is from the South Australian government. It's illegal to park or stop your vehicle in a bicycle lane, or to drive in the bicycle lane unless. So we'll just zoom in on this bit. So you've got some provisos here, and a lot of them have got asterisks, and the asterisk is when crossing or turning into a bike lane, drivers can only travel in a lane for 50 metres and must watch for and give way to. Listen, here we go. 50 metres and must watch for and give way to bicycle riders. It's not ambiguous. You've got to give way to bicycle riders if you're crossing a bike lane. It is as simple as that. And people just sort of make up their own rules. If a cop was there, like I've seen, like I remember riding home from work one time, and this motorcyclist thought, oh, there's a bit of traffic, I'll just go in the bike lane. Motorcycle cop pulled him over straight away, put him into the side street. Like, you know, people just make up their own rules. You can't ride your motorcycle in a bike lane either. So here we go. So it's not hard to figure this out. So you can only ride in the bike lane if it's not in operation at the time, which this one would have been because it's peak hour traffic. You need to stop in an emergency. That's, so I guess, if a ambulance is coming along, you're crossing the bike lane to change lanes. So that's if you're turning left, and it's got the asterisk there, so therefore you must only do it for 50 metres and you must watch for and give way to bicycle riders. You're entering or leaving a road from a private property, a parking area or another road, so you're crossing the bike lane to go into your lane, and that's got the asterisk as well, which means you must give way to bike riders. You are overtaking a vehicle turning right or making a U-turn, so somebody's going around right and you're coming around them. You can get into the bike lane, but asterisk again, you must give way to bike riders. You're avoiding obstruction, another asterisk, you must give way to bike riders. You're driving a bus or a taxi that's picking up or dropping off passengers. I think they missed off the asterisk there, because that's a dooring offence, and in Victoria there's a big fine for dooring cyclists as well. So let's get back to the video. Get rid of this. So let's have a look. So that's the first thing the motorist has done wrong there. Stopped in the bicycle lane and has not given way to cyclists. I can see what he's doing. But you need to be on the right hand side of the bike lane there and wait for the car to come out. And that car on the left needs to wait for the cyclist before he crosses that line there. Before he crosses that line, he's over in the bike lane. Over in the bike lane already. So he needs to give way to the cyclist before he moves across that line. That's what your friggin' mirrors are for, mate. You've got to see the mirror there? See your mirror? This cursor isn't sharp here. Anyway, I'm showing the mirror of my cursor. You are meant to give way to cyclists there. Alright. But in reality, you know what I'd be doing here? Because I can see they're both idiots. I'd be moving over to the right hand lane there and moving with traffic, and then getting back in the bike lane later on. That's just me. But as the cars are actually all tied up there, it's not much you can do. I would have stopped on the left hand side there in this situation. You assess it as you're going along. It's really a matter of survival when you're on your bike. You assess the safest route to do things. Alright, so next up, so I'm just trying to figure out whether this guy has got his indicators on. I don't think he's got his indicators on.
A 20-second period.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if the black car's got his indicators on. So there we go. So this is the thing. The motorist is saying, oh, the bike rider is riding erratically because he's riding in and out of the bike lane. It's like, yeah, because you're blocking the bike lane, mate. You're actually in the bike lane. That's meant to be where the cyclist is meant to ride, and you're blocking it. How can you not ride erratically by going around the vehicles? So really, this silver car, he's blinded now from the cyclist coming along because the black car is blocking the lane. All right. So here the cyclist just should be slowing down, which he did. So he slowed down there, eased around the car. See how the Mercedes driver rehands. He has not indicated yet. So he's just drifting along. Oh, sees his little spot. Look at this. Look how much space is there now. He's just basically wedging the cyclist. Where's the cyclist got to go? That's just nuts. He's just put on his indicators right there. Right there, he's put on his indicator. as he's drifting and pushing the cyclist over to the left, he's put on his indicator. Like, seriously, that's just pure dangerous driving. You know, I've got some video. I just got my Hero 9, and I've got video of people doing this and actually not indicating at all. Even worse. So that's just stupid. The car should not be doing that. Is that giving way, as we saw in the previous Safari browser window there? You must give way to cyclists in the bike lane. It says must watch for and give way to bicycle riders. When crossing or turning into a bike lane, the driver can only travel in the lane for 50 meters and must watch for and give way to bicycle riders. Alright? So to me, it's pretty obvious what they should be doing. But for me, I ride really defensively. So I'll tell you, we'll go back and I'll tell you what I would have done. So right here, I would have thought, okay, like, see, there's no thing there, like, because as a cyclist, you can actually see over the top of the cars. Like, this angle of the camera is not too good because the camera's fairly low on the bike. It's probably, you know, under the handlebars where I've got mine. Like, in reality, I could, if I'm going along to this situation, I can actually see over the cars and I can see where there's gaps and everything. So if the lane over on the right was free, I would have gone around this black car on the right and followed the traffic, and then got back in up there, you see. So that's what would have happened there. Or if it's all bunched up like this, you just basically go where that car park was, right at the edge of the street, that street there, where the Stobie pole is. We call them Stobie poles. I don't know what other people call them in. That's a South Australian term, Stobie poles. It was named after a guy called Stobie. So I would have stopped there and looked behind and gone back into the bike lane. It just depends. It really depends on how the traffic's moving, really. So, but yeah, it's the cyclist isn't riding erratically, and of course I would have been accused of riding erratically if I went around the car on the right hand side. Of course, you know, it's basically keep the bike lanes clear, man. That's really the moral of this story. Keep the bike lanes clear because that's what the law says you need to do. Like, look at the gaps here. There's no gaps, man. That's, as a cyclist, you never put yourself in a situation where a moving car can squash you against another solid piece of metal, a gutter, a tree. Avoid pinch points. I call them pinch points. When a car's moving from left to right there into your path, he's creating a pinch point. That's dangerous, you see. So even at this point, I'd be moving across behind this maroon, or what sort of colour that's, sort of maroon colour, reddish colour car. I'd be behind that one. You really got to look after yourself, you know, because there's a big enough gap there. No, there's actually not much of a gap at all when you look at it. And I'll just show you up further. There's actually another little... Oh, here we go. There's only about a frame in it. Oh, here he is. There's actually another car right there. It's actually in the bike lane as well. What the hell's going on there? So he's drifted across. I'm assuming he. Could be a she. They are drifting across into the bike lane as well, as you can see. So we've got two cars. So that's why the cyclist has started... That's why he's out of the bike lane right now. He's out of the bike lane because another car's pushing him across as well. See, this complicates things because, yeah, it's turned into a big obstacle course now. It's turned into a big obstacle course. I'd slow down here. See, I can do track stands, like, you know, just stand still without taking my feet out. So I can stand there just like I'm standing in the middle of my lounge room, basically. Now this is weird because this guy, let's have a see what's going on here. He's actually, Actually, I'm wrong here. See his tyres? See his tyres there? He's actually turning right. He might have done a U-turn up on the other side. Wish I had more footage. I can't see a gap. Oh, hang on, that's a gap there, I think. That's a gap. If you look on the far right there, I'll just go one more frame. See that little white line? God, I wish I had a pointer here. Actually, I'll move this. This will point to it. There we go. See right there. See where my white play button is? Right there. I'm gonna use that as my cursor now. You can see there. I reckon that guy's done a U-turn. That guy's done a U-turn. Spotted the car park. He's actually doing a U-turn into the bike lane and around. Oh man, what a mess! What a mess! Yes, because you can see the angle of his. See, as a cyclist, this is what I look for as well. You look at the tyres, because the angle of the wheels is going to determine where the car's going to go. So he's angled to the right, so he's moving around. And also, always have an escape route. You see this, if we move back here, the other option is to get on the footpath. You see, he's got a nice footpath there. You can get on as well if things go awry. And always look for little ramps you can go up and get out of. If you're pushed far left, of course this is going to cause confusion for people in the US who drive on the right hand side, but if you're pushed far left here, I always look for a escape route up onto the footpath. Right, it's not much there. The only footpath was back a bit. So yeah, the cyclist isn't really doing anything wrong, really. No, he's just negotiating. He's pretty confident he can move around. Like, he's really close to that red car there. Yeah, there's sort of a gap there. You're really trusting that silver car. He's not going to move forward though, because he's created a pinch point now. He's created a pinch point, and you must avoid pinch points at all costs, because that's what will kill you. Riding into a pinch point. But yeah, and sometimes you'll see the face of the driver in the actual rear vision mirror, and you'll see that they've seen you and that you're coming through. So that pushes the trust further towards, he's not going to move. He's seen me, so we'll get past that one, and then coming up to the truck. I can't see him doing anything wrong here. He's back in his bike lane, and he's moving across a bit. He's timing it to get around the car. He's sort of backed off and let the Mercedes go. You see there, and then the Mercedes doing the wrong thing by just drifting across with no indicator. Like, the Mercedes, right at this point, this is where he should have put the indicator on. Let's go back a bit. Right at here, he should have put the indicator on. Right? There's lots of car parks there on the left hand side. He should have his indicator on right now, and then the cyclist will automatically, if he's courteous, he doesn't need to. Like, cyclists can just go through. And this is where it's almost like ESP happens, where you sort of go to the driver, yep, go through, or if there's a lot of traffic, I'll do that. I'll slow down and then give a hand signal to the driver I'll go like that, go across me, But legally, the cyclist doesn't need it. The Mercedes driver actually legally has to give way to the cyclist before he moves across. Right, so that is way too late. He's indicating there, way too late. He's already almost into the bike lane. That's just nuts. Look at that. He's indicating as his wheel is in the bike lane, and creating a pinch point. I imagine if the car. See, you've got people getting into the white. Is that a Volkswagen? Yeah, it looks like a Volkswagen. Volkswagen insignia on the back there. So imagine if somebody opens the door right there. Or it's like, "Mum, can you get something out of the back?" "No worries, son." Opens that door. Bang, doored. Could probably scrape the Mercedes as well and hit the cyclist. Very dangerous situation. Not the cyclist's fault at all. Like they're saying, "Oh, I should move back." It's like he doesn't know. He doesn't know the car's gone there. Like me, I could tell that car was moving across before he indicated, right? Because you can tell when a car drifts, they're either on their mobile phone or they're looking for a spot and they're oblivious that you're in the bike lane. So at this point, I'd be backing off. I'd be looking behind me to go around him. Always look for an escape route. The escape route isn't on the left. You're either going to go up the gutter, which is dangerous, can you flip over your handlebars, or you go around him. See, at this point, go around him. Go around him, which is what he's doing. You can see he's drifting across. Pretty dangerous. Alright guys, that's my analysis. There's my analysis of it. Leave your comments below. This is something I deal with daily. I've got some GoPro footage from a Hero 9. I'll go through it. Point out, almost ran into a dog. Ran into a runaway dog the other day. So that was a pretty scary moment, because you don't want to do something where the dog runs into the cars either. So I've just basically put on my brakes, but I'll show you that in another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.